Johnny Brown came up to town for a holiday, felt so blithe and gay, whistled all the way. When he stepped out from the train and saw the girls galore, he shouted out with glee, this is the life for me. I want a holiday with a real nice girl, one who's not afraid of me.
And now, it's time for the Yacht Club show. Needed now more than ever.
I want a holiday with a bit of fluff, full of joviality.
With Killer, Rev D, and Dr. Jim.
I want a holiday with a real nice girl, one who's not afraid of me. One who's learned to kiss, one who's learned to squeeze, one who knows just how to sit upon a fellow's knee. I want a holiday with a bit of fluff, full of joviality.
Well, welcome back, listeners.
It's been a while.
It's been a long hiatus.
May 15th was the last time we
were out at the outside studio. That
was the outdoor studio.
We were at the outdoor studio, and here we are looking at snow.
Birds were chirping, lawnmowers were humming.
Yep.
Yeah.
The birds' eggs hadn't even hatched.
Well, it's been a long hiatus. I think I got a little cold feet, you could say, after our last episode and some of the, I guess I'll call it negative feedback we received.
Yeah.
We were heartless bean counters. We were heartless, stodgy old men.
White old men.
White old men. And you know what?
It's true.
And I mentioned that to one of my ex-coworkers, Bob, from Brownstown Township. And he said, "So?
What's
that's
the
what
point?
You are.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I mean, embrace it. You know,
Does it somehow make you less? If you weren't old, you'd be better. If you weren't white, you'd be better. If you weren't a man, you'd be better.
I think Jim nailed it. Those are the three things that are going against us.
Yeah, you just nailed the criteria right there.
Good for you, Jim. You've identified the issue.
You know, I can. That's why you call me the world's smartest man, because I can. I can cut to the nub of what is going on here.
Yeah.
So anyway, I figured enough time has passed.
It
took me a while. I sent out an RIP Yacht Club show. It's like, we're done. We're history. Who needs the grief? But
and here we are back to irritate.
Here we are.
The Rev and myself were perfectly happy to irritate as many people as we possibly can.
Because your kids don't listen to the show anyway, right?
No, they do. They listen.
Oh, okay.
They tell me what an
Dave,
idiot
your kids don't
I am,
listen to it, do they?
I don't. They did. I don't know if they do now, but we don't agree on anything. But they don't. That's Dad. They just let it go.
My son has got his friends listening to it.
Really?
The mayor of Novi listens to the song.
Yeah.
How bad can we be if the mayor of Novi is listening to this show?
Really. What finally pushed, and I got to give a lot of credit to my good friend Fred from Dayton, Ohio. He said, "What happened to the Yacht Club show?" And I explained, just felt like in today's political climate, we're persona non grata.
We're not welcomed.
But anyway, he said, "Hey, I've become a pretty big fan of you guys. I think you speak a lot of common sense. I don't think you've ever said anything egregious, anything that should really set someone over the edge." So he really encouraged us to get back in the studio, and he nudged me a few times. I thought, you know what? Yeah, maybe the time is right. So thank you, Fred, for nudging us back into the studio.
Yeah, I think what really would surprise me is it's not so much that we expect everyone to always agree with us, and we don't deliberately try to antagonize people when we talk.
Right.
But they come back to you with nothing except insults. They don't even have a defense some sort of a rebuttal for what we say.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, maybe 100% of the time, it is. It's just more criticism without an alternative plan.
It's just childish. It's like you can't have you can't express anything that is not out of the manual for the way they think you should think. 3 of us all agreed, hey, look, if it's going to cause you or anybody to feel like you've done something that was offensive and you don't want to do that, then don't do it. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten a big contract yet, but we're still working on it.
It's coming.
Well, we're not in the right demographic.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But, we still have loyal listeners, and that should keep us going.
Well,
Plus,
we got a couple of loyal listeners, a couple of people who enjoy the show, and we enjoy making it.
Yeah,
so
that's the other thing.
That's the end of the argument.
That's the other thing too. I really miss this. I did.
Yeah.
This has always been a lot of fun because I love listening to what you guys have to say. I love hearing your perspective on things because, as Fred and Dayton said, there's a lot of common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not a lot of emotion, I don't think. We try to cut through the BS as much as we're capable of.
And it doesn't mean we're right all the time. It doesn't, and we're perfectly willing to be corrected if you have some correction to throw our way. But if all you're going to do is insult us, just
keep it.
Go away. Go listen to Rachel.
No, I agree. And you know what we're giving is opinion.
That's all it is.
That's all is opinion. We're not saying the opinion is right or wrong. It's just our opinion.
Well, we are saying it's right.
Well, that's true. Okay.
Let's not get too humble.
All right.
I've never felt like we're trying to change people's minds. We're just expressing our opinion. If you think that there's some nuggets of wisdom in there, take them for what it's worth. But I've never thought that we had an agenda to change the way anyone thinks. I think we're just trying to seek, you said very early, like-minded individuals.
Or just have a more complete discussion. Because what you have is, and this is true on both sides, the only thing they talk about is what favors them.
Right.
So somewhere, if they're just focusing on commentary and arguments that they are passionately involved with, they're just missing the 80% of the country out there who just gets up and goes to work every day and goes to their kids' ball games and
just
watches football.
Yeah, they just want to live.
Just want to live. They want to be aware of what's going on around them, and all they're getting is these extremist views or near extremist views, and the implication is that anything that isn't extreme is boring and unimportant.
Well, I think that's the problem with social media.
Yeah.
Right then, because to get people to listen, to get people to listen, you've got to be extreme. We've heard about the algorithms that they just keep feeding you the stuff that you like, so you'll keep reading.
Yep.
And I think the critical thinking, we've talked about this before, critical thinking in America is done. It's just...
and social media killed it, I think.
I would agree, because I can find my tribe very easily, and I'm going to stay with my tribe.
Well, it's a combination of two things, I think. I think to learn how to think critically, you have to train yourself to do it or be trained to do it. But also, you can only work with the facts you're receiving. So even if you think critically, and if you're only getting a subset of facts, that's all you have to work on.
Yeah. I remember when I was in IT years ago, we used to go to these symposiums, and they used to have these birds of a feather sessions. And that's what social media reminds me of now, especially these Reddit groups, birds of a feather. It's exactly what you guys are saying. It's like, I'm going to get on this Reddit discussion group who thinks exactly the way I think. Got that tunnel vision, right?
Right.
And that's what it is. Social media has become a collection of birds of a feather groups that just don't interact with each other.
No, and I think it's the human condition that we want to belong. We want to belong in a group, and that's because we don't because there's social media, and I can spend hours.
Right.
And so I don't have to interact with anybody in person. It's easier for me to find that group that agrees with me on everything and stay within that, instead of having what we always talk about is that we need a frank discussion about
Whatever the issue
is.
Yeah.
We never have a frank
No,
discussion.
except here on the Yacht Club show.
Well, I think there's also, I think, I look at the birds of a feather and I think, concept, and it's I think it's pretty natural.
It is. It is.
Good. It feels good, yes.
But what seems to get lost is your little flock over here, when they encounter another flock, don't say, "Oh, I disagree with you. This is why you're wrong, and this is why I think I'm right." Instead, they turn and they say to the other flock, "You're ugly, and your mom wears."
They start pecking at their feathers.
Your mom wears combat boots, and you're a communist, fascist,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Oh, Nazi.
Or Nazi.
Throw Nazi in there,
Nazi.
too.
No, you can't say communist. Communists is, they're pretty good. They're
Yeah,
pretty
they're-
cool now.
Who is?
Communists.
That's pretty. Oh, that's right. That's the in thing.
They're
now,
in.
isn't it?
They're in.
Yeah.
Oh. I guess we'll have to cancel the show again. We just offended the communists. So it's a two-stage thing. It's flock gathering is sort of like, I think it's a natural thing to occur, and I don't think it's the healthiest way to go, but it's more likely than not to occur.
Well, it's the easiest.
It's the easiest, and it's the how you respond when you encounter another flock
Yeah,
that seems
Right.
to be now. It's a conversation killer. Whatever the response is, it'll just kill the conversation.
So that's kind of what happened. So we're back.
All right, good to have you.
I want a holiday with a real nice girl, one who's not afraid of me.
All right. Well, Dr. Jim forwarded an article to Dave and me. It came from the Free Press.
Yeah. Title of the article is "The Devil's Plan to Ruin the Next Generation."
Yeah. What would his tactics be?
What it says in the beginning, the author of it asked AI, "What would the devil do?" It was sort of like, now this is AI. It's just flat out telling you what it does.
Oh, that's scary.
So this article, as Jim mentioned, asking ChatGPT, it began, "If I were to think this through as a thought experiment, imagining the devil in a metaphorical sense, the most effective way to destroy the next generation without them realizing it would be through slow, invisible corrosion of the human spirit rather than obvious attacks." And then he gets into discussion about what the Gen Z and what other generations sense as the meaning in life. Do they have this meaningless sense about life? And the percentage of, this is Gen Z, the percentage has gone up significantly since 2015. And it looks like girls, 30% of 12th grade girls believe that life is meaningless. Boys, somewhere between 20 and 25% of it looks like. This is in 2020. So the information is a little dated, but what you can see is this upsurge. And we talked about social media. I'm sure it's not a coincidence. As birds of a feather flock together, there's a big uptick in this feeling that life is meaningless. Thoughts on that?
There was another line in here. According to chat, I would not come at them with violence. I'd come with convenience, which is what essentially all of this stuff is. I'd keep them busy, always distracted, which is where we are at this point. I'd watch their minds slowly, sweetly, silently rot. The best part, they'd never know it was me. They'd call it freedom. So I think it was, again, the idea that you're free from the traditional social and moral boundaries that people used to have. Now, granted, not all of those boundaries were defensible. But first of all, you didn't see any value at all in them or in parts of them, and you didn't replace them with anything, and you basically said, it's moral relativism.
Right.
Where people would they could decide what's right or wrong for themselves, and they also then decide what's right or wrong for you. They made it cool to be morally relativistic. And they made it uncool to have standards in your life, tradition, and some sort of moral code.
Right.
That
was old-fashioned.
That was old-fashioned and restrictive.
Rev D.
Well, and
Rev D, I'd like your thoughts on
I think we did it to ourselves. And we go back to, we were talking earlier about the 60s when that probably started a lot of it.
Yeah.
With the peace movement and all these things. And they were all good things.
Yeah. I mean, there was good.
There was good, but I think it went too far, and we've lost the moral compass. I've talked about that before. I think we've lost that moral compass, and whether it be the churches, the Boy Scouts, remember they had their issues. So there's nothing or no one to give that moral standard anymore. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's relative to what we don't have a standard that everybody can accept. Love your neighbor.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
All right, yeah. And we've lost that. We just do whatever feels good for us, and we justify it. I think what's happened now is that we've replaced the moral standards. People get it from TikTok or what they see on Instagram. That's the moral standard. Because if I saw it on there, it's got to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that kind of leads to this point, too. I love some of these points that ChatGPT makes. So, confuse identity and purpose. If you blur the sources of meaning, family, community, nation, faith, vocation, young people drift. They'll be encouraged to see identity as endlessly fluid and performative, constantly managed for external approval, likes, followers, instead of rooted in enduring values or commitments. This makes them malleable, anxious, and dependent on external validation. And when you see this, there is this, how many likes can I get? How many followers can I get? I think people are driven by that. So it's, identity over purpose.
Well, you want to be part of the club.
Or you want the club to think that you're
you're
the bee's knees.
Yeah, you're right. The thing that gets me, Killer, is that we know or not we, but the people know what's happening. Facebook has done studies where their content is not good for the teenage girl. But there's so much money involved that nobody cares.
Yep. And, there's the most lucrative career you can have as a young person is to be an influencer. So what is that all about? It's all about drawing eyeballs in and then getting businesses to pay you to hawk their products.
Yep.
On the surface, though, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not slamming it.
It's marketing.
It's good marketing. It's smart marketing.
What you're trying to do. But, and I don't know if it's because the critical thinking isn't there anymore, but that becomes the holy grail for people.
It does.
And it's mainly, we talk about the young kids, but I'm sure there's adults that are on this too and watching.
Oh yeah.
And then the algorithms are such that you keep getting fed the same things, and we know what's happening. We don't do anything about it. That's the.
And we're not going to do anything.
We're not going to do anything. There's too much money involved.
Yeah.
You're right. But to have like our grandkids right now, I worry about that. When do you get the iPhone? And I know our grandkids are on the iPad.
Uh-huh.
They can run the iPad better than I can. Right now it's I don't know, Bluey or whatever they're watching on the things. But as you get
MSNBC.
As they get older and find these other things, what happens and how do they critically think? How do you get them to critically think? I read something that this was along the line of Jim's article that I think this was this guy's opinion, but a kid shouldn't have a iPhone until they're, I don't know, 12 or whatever. So, well, you see it. Your kid wants to be popular. Okay, so how do you? And there's some good things having a phone, to be able to call mom and dad for
find my iPhone. Track
yeah,
your kid.
exactly. But how do you keep them off of those the crazy stuff? And that's tough.
Did I just hear? Wasn't there a Scandinavian country that's trying to pass a law that
I think so.
I think it's Finland or something.
Finland kids can't even have social media accounts, or maybe they can't have iPhone. I can't remember. But there's a country that has identified this as a real issue and is trying to keep kids off social media at a young age. So it's a serious issue.
What's interesting in the last 6 months, this TikTok, some America's buying TikTok from China, and how difficult that. And I don't think anything's happened still.
No.
To that, that's still. And it's all about the money.
Sure,
I get that. Okay, but with just a little bit I know about TikTok, man, it should be banned for kids and
for young kids.
For young kids, and it's not going to happen. That's I want my kid to be popular, so. And they want to know what's going on, so they're going to be on TikTok or Instagram or these things. And we know it's not good for their development, but we don't do anything about it.
And I'm cherry-picking stuff from this article, but I thought this was kind of interesting, too. It's another thing the devil would do. Flood the young kids with information, starve them of wisdom. Making everything available instantly, but strip away guidance about how to weigh, sort, and interpret. Give them infinite answers without teaching how to ask good questions. In that haze, truth and falsehood feel equally slippery, so cynicism becomes natural, and I'm sensing a lot of cynicism. Maybe I'm becoming more cynical, too. Cynicism is on the rise in this country, and I think it's a lot to do with our politicians. A generation that doubts everything, believes in nothing.
It's even more insidious than this because you're getting, as you say, you're getting flooded with information, but it's a very selected sub-segment of the information. So that there's so much information that I guess the natural instinct is, there's so much of this, therefore it's complete.
Yeah.
And the fact is it's not complete. It's been selected to target and influence you specifically based on what it knows about you from your internet presence.
Yeah, I think part of it, too, is, and this, I'm going to credit or blame him, Ross Perot. Remember when he ran for president, the soundbite?
Yeah.
We started hearing about sound bites for the first time. So everything was just a real quick, broad summary of something, a soundbite. And now that's the way we process news. No one takes a deep dive anymore. They move from one soundbite to the next.
Well, soundbite, but headlines. How many people
go
beyond the headline?
They don't. They figure like that. That's everything I need to know. That headline.
Yeah, I don't have the time. And I know Kay's talked about this, but the attention span of kids is 5 minutes or something?
Yeah.
It's something stupid, right?
But he knew I got to boil this down simply for it to have an impact. He was pretty sharp that way.
You mentioned that, and the last month we've heard about affordability.
Yeah,
that's the big buzzword all of a sudden, and that's what they're all worried.
They're all both sides now.
Both sides. Affordability is that they've learned. I'm sure the marketing gurus and the pollsters have been in there to tell them it's
the buzzword.
You got the election in New York, which was won by promoting affordability.
Sure.
But nobody fleshes that out and says, okay, what do you mean by affordability? When you start looking at the individual components of this, then you realize how absurd it is. That's the other thing. I mean, it always amazed me when you'd see a new iPhone come out, and the iPhone selling for $700 to $1,000. And you have all these kids online buying iPhones.
I know. What's wrong with a couple generations ago? That phone's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So if you approach them and say, I assume you have absolutely no financial problems, and this has risen to the top of the list of how you want to spend your money. Oh, no, I can't pay my rent. Oh, well, shouldn't you pay your rent first? Man,
But I got to have that phone.
I got to have that phone,
Yeah.
man. I need that phone because I'm doing job interviews, and it's like thousands of people are going to call me, and I need to be able to get their call. We're picking on that one because it's simply the latest, but it's not like it's new.
Sure.
And it's not like just the progressive wing of the party has suddenly come up with this affordability technique. It's been going on for decades now.
Yep. Let me pick another point here. So this is the devil's plan, right? Per
Yes.
ChatGPT. He's the devil's pretty crafty guy. The devil would plan to replace real relationships, encourage digital substitutes for friendship, love, and intimacy. People will accumulate connections while feeling lonelier than ever. Superficial bonds are easy to monetize and manipulate than the deep ties of family, friendship, and community. The tragedy is that they may not realize what real connections feel like. Man, we're getting there. AI is good and AI is scary. Robots are going to feel more human and be more human-like. There was a movie where Joaquin Phoenix fell in love with an AI personality. It's not that far-fetched. It's happening.
It's happening. I'm sure it's happening.
You hear people, having deep personal connections with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That becomes their converse with ChatGPT on a regular daily basis about things going on in their life, seeking advice.
It's what's good about ChatGPT, but it's also the most dangerous because I do get in conversations with ChatGPT. Hey, I'll say, hey, thanks, man. That's really great. Oh, you're welcome, Michael. You know what? How about if I put it in a chart for you? Would you like that, Mike? Absolutely. Oh, man, you're the greatest. And that's kind of how our conversations go.
Right.
And you can see why we talked about earlier, people want a connection.
Yeah.
All right, and we think of connection as a human connection. If you never had that human connection, if you can have it with ChatGPT or Gronk or whatever,
it'll be a substitute.
Yeah, and I won't know how to communicate with people.
People are nuanced. People are flighty. People have mood shifts. ChatGPT and the like are always gonna suck up to you.
Yeah, they're always up.
Yeah,
they're always up. Can't be more kind to you. Well, and that people aren't like that.
No.
They're going to have good days and bad days. Yeah. So a lot of lonely people out there.
But you think that's a good point. I think loneliness was always an issue. Okay. But are there more now? Do you think because we don't have to interact?
Don't they miss that human connection?
I would think.
That's what I'd
But maybe if I never had it, maybe I wouldn't miss it if I never had it, or I got it through. If I've been on the iPad since I was 6, and that was my development. My parents never got me off it or paid any attention or cared if I was on it. Does that just become your way of life?
And now you've got a situation where if meeting members of the opposite sex can be excruciating. If you like somebody and they don't like you, or if you think you like each other and you discover that, we kind of thought we did, but then we really don't fit well together, and so it creates all sorts of conflict, and it's a lot of work. Whereas you can avoid all of that with the internet.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, what's the term?
Incel. Yeah, involuntarily celibate.
No, there's a lot of that going on. That's a new term, part of the devil's plan.
This is something that changed too, that I don't know if we've fully adapted to it. I think for young women, there was a significant number of them where marriage was the goal.
Oh, not anymore.
Now it is. It seems as if the penalty of marriage is too great to even consider it. But that results in, either for the man or the woman, the boy or the girl, that results in finding other outlets.
Well, I'll tell you,
social media is just there to come on in.
It's ubiquitous, It's easy.
Yeah.
It's just easy to do it. It's a lot like grief.
And
you
there's
don't get turned down.
Right. Not only that, there's no blowback.
No. No.
There's no failure.
Jim, anything else you wanted to point out from this article? And I should give credit to the author from the Free Press. It's Jonathan Haidt, Haidt.
Yeah.
And it's really thought-provoking. Basically, the implication is we're playing right into the devil's hands.
The thing I always have to keep in mind about AI knows nothing. It only knows what's on the internet.
Right.
So it's not like this artificial general intelligence,
right,
which is supposed to be thinking like a human being. It is really just searching. You ask it a question and it searches the internet for all possible answers for it. So when you ask it a question, it's only feeding back what everyone has been saying about, social media and its impact. So it's kind of I don't want to give AI too much credit for spending a weekend thinking about, I got to give a thoughtful answer to this. Let me think.
Yeah. It's pretty good about distilling information or condensing it, but you're right. It's purely on information that's available to everybody.
Right.
So is it super intelligent as we would define intelligence? I think it just can operate at such warp speed to collect information and try to boil it down.
We look at intelligence as knowledge. If you know a lot, you're intelligent. The more you know, the more intelligent you are. And then there's the other side of intelligence is how can you take knowledge and use it to add knowledge to it. And this is not at the level to do that. It's
getting.
AI
I think it's getting there, though. I do.
Well, it has. I don't know. I think it's a big gap. I think.
I think it's getting there. I don't think it has. Typically, I'm not saying it's void of this built-in bias. So if you can have a program without a hidden agenda or built-in bias, you're one step closer, I think, to an intelligent answer. So that's why I think it has a potential to get there.
So, for instance, would AI, as it exists today, ever come up with the theory of relativity, Einstein's theory of relativity? My belief is no. There's something called emergence. It's kind of controversial. It's something seems to come out that is not predictable based on where it comes from. So, for instance, we have, where did life come from? And you're trying to figure out where life came from. Well, life is made of molecules and everything else like that. All the things we know about the chemistry of life and the biology of life and everything. So, even today, we know what life looks like. So it should be easy to just, reconstruct.
Reverse engineer it.
Reverse engineer it, take it back to basic molecules, and then build up life. We can't do that.
No.
So this would be sort of an example of emergence. I think you get ideas like that come out that are emergent. So even most ideas are not emergent. Like communism is a perfectly reasonable extension of history, of economic history. It's not a hard thing. I mean, the first Christians were communists, essentially. It's where communes come from and where they lived together as, they shared everything and they took care of each other and so on, just as you would in some idealized communist state. I don't believe that AI at this point can make that synthetic move. I think it's just
it's an aggregator.
It's an aggregator, a search engine that is very sophisticated.
We can only get that type of
insight
from the good doctor here. So he proves his value once again.
There you go. There you go. And his wife is nodding in agreement in the background.
It is extremely difficult to keep her adulation down.
Imagine if she was AI, though.
No.
You wouldn't even have to try it, Jim.
She would tell me how wonderful I was.
Oh man. But this we're just scratching the surface of this article. But I think go ahead.
You
Dave, you want to summarize?
No, I don't. But what bothers me is that I think that there's people who understand the downside
Right.
of all this, what it's doing to, well, just not kids, to the general population. And I talk about critical thinking being dead. I mean, there's no reason to critically think now because you just go to ChatGPT and they said that the sky is turquoise and okay, it's got to be right.
Yeah.
What do we do about it?
Ooh, that's really scary.
So that nasty devil, he's got some well-calculated plans to take things over.
He answered the question as best he could, so I guess we have to.
He's pretty clever.
Yeah.
There's other points, and maybe we'll pick some of this up again in a future episode. So it's great to get back in the studio. I love talking with you guys, getting your insights into how we view this crazy world we live in. We haven't provided any solutions, but I think it's important to find the issues first.
Give us time. Give us time.
Give Dr. Jim time. He'll have it. He'll have a solution. So on that note, I think we'll wrap things up. You guys have had months. It's been since May. You've got to have some. I'm sure you've been thinking about some type of.
I've been too depressed to look for.
Sign off.
No, I've started using humor at when I do my weekly communion service, you
use the term loosely.
Well, you didn't like those? All right, yeah, they're groaners. They're groaners.
For our listeners, Rev D does a weekly service, and he's like he said, he's been introducing jokes into his talks after he does a scripture reading. And oh my God, you think?
Do they laugh?
You think it was Milton Berle or something? He's got these people eating out of the palm of his hand.
I love it. So
and I hear these jokes. I think that's got to be the weakest joke I've ever heard.
I didn't say they were good. But I get a laugh. Right? So it's winter. Let's leave people with a laugh right now. We've been kind of depressing with what we've talked about. We're coming here, so
you set up the expectations pretty high.
Well,
don't go there.
Don't go there. No. Right. So, what did the icy road say to the car?
Wow.
What did the icy road say?
Should we leave people hanging?
Huh?
You don't want to know.
I want to know. I can't.
I'm in the edge of my seat.
All right. You want to go for a spin?
All right, so listeners, now you get the idea of the quality of the jokes Rev D shares on a weekly basis.
If you don't listen anymore, I will understand.
All right, catch you next time.
I want a holiday with a real nice girl, one who's not afraid of me.
Thanks for joining us. Music in this episode by Fred Murray, found in the Internet Archives at the archive.org website.
I think I'm liking holiday with a real nice girl. I want a holiday with a real nice girl, one who's not afraid of me. One who's learned to kiss, one who's learned to squeeze, one who knows just how to sit upon a felony. I want a holiday with a bit of fluff, full of joviality. One of us painted, always painted, took my hand and then she fainted. Holiday with a real nice girl.